What's going on, y'all? We in the car doing what we do, going where we need to go, finding business if you don't have none, and if you got some, run it. But I wanted to just chat today. If you know anything about social media, I'm sure you've heard about the Diddy situation, and I'm not necessarily going to speak directly about the scenario of what's going on. I mean, I feel like it goes without saying. Couple of things though. I've seen a lot of things on social media, and some of it was so disheartening, to say the least. I mean, and I know we're all human. We all have a right to our opinion, so I understand all of that. But I'll be honest with you, it was so disheartening to see people's perspectives on the situation. Now, this has nothing to do with a man hitting a woman only. It could be a man hitting a woman hitting a man, a woman hitting a woman, a man hitting a man, right? But this is this particular situation where we could see what he did to her. And just some of the things that I would see on social media was just kind of like, and you know, we experience these things every single day. We're outside of Diddy, outside, you know, one thing that I notice is, like, we as humans, we, not as a whole, but we just lack sensitivity. We lack grace. And what's really scary is, and I'm only going by the comments that I saw, and I know this isn't a one size fit all. What was really scary to me is my mind was thinking, these people that are saying this, like, you're a human being. You're probably somebody's father, somebody's mother. Because it wasn't just male comments. Like, you are somebody's sibling. You're somebody's son or daughter. And I'm just thinking, like, if you don't have remorse on the strength of, if this was me or if this was somebody I love, that is very scary. That is very scary. And I'm gonna make a couple of different points. I be all over the place sometimes, but y'all follow me, work with me. If this your first time here, how you doing? If it's not your first time here, you already know how I talk. So that scared me. And then it started to make me think about, like, now, why does this phone keep on tilting now? I'm trying to type the thing. I don't know what's good. And then it kind of made me think, like, you don't know what you getting when you're dealing with a person. You would like to think everybody has a moral compass. But even in a moral compass, that moral compass can be shifted for cultural reasons, environmental reasons. And so you just not safe in a sense. You have people that are married. I'm sorry, y'all, this thing keeps moving. I really am sorry about that. So y'all just bear with me. I'm gonna see. I don't know how I can fix it, but I'm just gonna tighten it every time it moves. But unfortunately, and when I say you're not safe, I'm not talking about the extreme, but you have to just be so mindful that anything can shift at any given moment. And even on a good scale, who I was at 20 is not the same as who I am now. Who I was at 15, God, I pray it ain't the same as who I am now. May have a little bit of overlapping, but we are always changing, sometimes for the better, sometimes not at all, sometimes for the worse, right? And so, you know, I guess my overall point about what I'm saying is, you are more strengthened as a person with truly trying to understand your value. Because, and I know we talk about things like this all the time. Now let this be a testament that I have the Holy Ghost, because y'all would have caught me cussing on this YouTube, okay? This person just, my God. I'm saying for real. Because, baby, I was finna say, what the? And that thing my instincts kicked in and I swerve right. People be driving crazy. But you have to, as best as you can. And it's so much I could say that makes it sound like it's really easy, but I also know that it's a daily work, sometimes an hourly work. You have to know who you are and the value of what you have to offer and the value of who you are as a person, mentally, emotionally, verbally, physically. Because at any given moment, if someone was to change that you're in relationship with, in covenant with, in friendship with, in work relationship with, you have to be able to be strong enough. Strong does not mean that you're not going to go through some emotions of like, oh my goodness, this is challenging. But strong enough is, can you get through it? Can you make a wise decision? Can you make a logical decision? Are you making decisions out of emotion? Are you staying out of emotion? Are you staying out of love? Because when things change, you have to be able to understand how to switch that pendulum back to, how is this helping me? How is this advancing me? How is this motivating me? Because one of the most difficult things is when we start talking about we love the person, or I'm dedicated, or I've been here for so long, or you're driven by, well, I have to have this job because I gotta have money, because how I'm gonna feed my kids, how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna do that. I realize we tend to settle for things because we don't believe that we can have more, that we can do better. Watch this. We don't even believe that we'll be okay being by ourselves. You can be by yourself but not be alone. You can be by yourself but not be lonely. And so I realize from a psychological perspective, those things, the worry of money makes us stay at jobs we don't want to be at. The worry of money makes us stay at a job. And because we lack confidence and value in ourselves, we won't look for another job that with a higher pay grade. We won't go to a job that we like and go after the promotion because we're comparing ourselves to other people. There's so many different things that happens to us. And I am learning more and more that it is the trick of the enemy. If he can make you doubt, if he can make you fear, if he can make you lower your standards, now you'll realize you're settling for an unhealthy relationship. You're settling for not having standards. You're settling for not having boundaries. Watch this. You're settling for, you have boundaries, but yet when it comes time to reinforce the boundary, you're not going to do it out of fear, out of loneliness, out of sometimes your heart can work against you. I'm so nice, I'm so this, I don't want to make them feel bad, and da-da-da-da. And so, we just have to really learn that self-talk, that building ourselves up. I was having a conversation with my son over the weekend, and he was talking to me about some things that, was on his mind. And I tell y'all this more often than not. We were talking about just motivating himself and being proud of himself. And I said, son, you can't live your life based on mommy's words. You know why I have to tell him that? Because I don't want to set him up for failure. That I'm only as good as my mother says. I'm only as good as my mother describes. I'm only good if I see my mom clap her hands. I'm only good if I see my mom cheer for me. I tell him that gratification has to come from within. Because what if I forget one day? What if I fall sick one day, God forbid? What if I don't have the verbiage? What if I'm dealing with things? Because see, we're so driven by the validation of others. You can be motivated by the validation of others. But if the validation of others is higher than the validation you give yourself, that's a problem. If your impact and contribution to the world is based on what somebody is telling you what you can or cannot do versus what you can do, that's a problem. If you only feel beautiful because you get compliments and you don't know how to compliment yourself, even if you feel horrible, and we've all been there. You know how I know? You ever been sick and you just feel like, ugh, you feel sick, you look sick, your body's sick, your eyes sick, you just feel like nothing. But even then, you still know while I'm sick, pardon me guys, you still know that while I'm sick, I feel terrible. but I need to rest. I feel terrible, but I need to go to a doctor. So you see how you can still not even feel your best, but still know that there's something that has to be done to make yourself whole, to make yourself better, to build yourself back up. Let me tell you something. That semi just did that, turning that truck. And so it's the same thing emotionally. It's the same thing mentally, right? If you've ever been sick and there's nobody there to bring you soup, thank God for Uber Eats. Thank God for all these delivery services. You gonna do what you gotta do to get yourself back healthy. You understand what I'm saying? And so we just have to get to a place where we minimize some of these other things. I don't need the accolade of my loved one. I don't need the accolade of my mother. I don't need the accolade of a father, of my son, of this or that. I'm not saying that we don't need that. This is not this particular video. What I am saying is, if your functionality and well-being is in the hands of a flawed human man, no, Jennifer, you can't say human mankind, but if it's in the hands of mankind, i.e. man or woman, doesn't matter age, gender, race, doesn't matter. If your existence and the well-being of your existence is only as good as what other people are saying and doing, that's a problem. If your existence is only motivated by what you see others have, therefore you get down on yourself because you don't have that and you're not there. Y'all don't know the half of what people do behind the scenes to make something look the way it is. You could be getting up, going to work every day, and here you comparing yourself to that Instagram model, and you don't know how many people she got to sleep with just to get that rent paid. And I'm not saying all Instagram models do that. You could see Jeff Bezos and you could think, wow, he's so lucky. You don't know what shenanigans Jeff Bezos is doing. You don't know how it's affecting him. You don't know how he could be in fear of illegal things he may be doing. So it's not about me pointing out names and pointing out certain careers and say, oh, this and this and that. It's about, do you look at the thing that do you look at what you see and you automatically downgrade who you are? You down your life. You start comparing. You start saying, I wish I had this, or I wish I had that, or this and this and that. That's not healthy. I wish my marriage was like da 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 da. But you don't know the secrets, the dark secrets of that person's marriage. Well, I wish I could be with a celebrity. You don't know what they dealing with. Think about the stuff you deal with and you don't tell nobody, but yeah, you still show up and clock in to work confidently, knowing you struggling. You still going to work, knowing today is Wednesday, knowing today is Tuesday or Wednesday, and you praying to God your direct deposit hit on a Thursday, but you still put them scrubs on, you still put your shoes on, you still got up, brushed your teeth, washed your face, and you went into work. And guess what? You tried to find whatever was in your refrigerator so you can eat lunch because you don't have enough money to go out to lunch. Or you may try to fake it till you make it and try to go with your coworkers, but get something during hopefully a happy hour time or whatever the case may be. Everybody be trying to fake it fronted, or everybody be trying to make it. And so you want to ask yourself, and you want to take an assessment of your life, and you want to say, is the decisions that I'm making or I have made, was it motivated and driven by comparison, jealousy, fear, low self-esteem, no self-worth, not feeling good enough? And I know it can be challenging to talk about those things, but you got to be honest, because a lot of the times we can beg and plead till our knees is bloody, on our knees begging to God for something, and you know you lack motivation, you know you lack self-esteem, you know you don't see your value, you know you might be lazy, you know you a procrastinator, and then we get mad at God, then we frustrated with ourselves. Now we turn into all other type of religions and shenanigans and rituals and mantras because we think, well, obviously this thing with God don't work. But where are you at though? And I'm not coming down on nobody. We all at the table eating what I'm talking about right now, including me. Did you stop yourself from certain things because the actual truth is you struggle with low self-esteem and you don't think that you could really be the CEO, or you don't think that you can go after that promotion, let's talk about it. Because if you're not willing to look at the truth, nothing in your life in certain areas that you struggle in will change. There's so many people that's trying to force getting into relationships and marriages and having baby before marriage with no standards, with no nothing. Why? Because you looking too busy trying to get a vacation. Because you want to post for the gram, but you miserable after you take the picture or after you go live. What good is that? Or you so driven by love and what your heart feels that even when it's gonna devastate you, you don't have enough strength to walk away because of history, because you want to change him or her, because of I just want this, and why can't I have this like everybody else? So now you begging a person to give you something that they've shown you repeatedly they're not going to give you. But because you're so emotionally drained, because while you were in the relationship, while you were at the job, while you were dealing with family, while you were doing certain things, you stopped building yourself up. You stopped motivating yourself. Somewhere you got comfortable. You got lax. You fell into the trap. On good days, you got to build yourself up. On bad days, you got to build yourself up. It's just like I'm in this car right now. My car shows me how many miles I have until the tank is empty. Well, wisdom says don't let it get so low, because they tell you if you keep doing that for so long, you can mess up your fuel pump. Or if you only put so much gas in the car, yeah, you may think you getting over like, yeah, I'm finna $20 into death, 20, a dub. Well, they'll tell you, well, eventually you can mess up your car. So it's beneficial for you to fill it up. And then they give you different tips. When it gets to halfway, so you're not spending as much money, when it gets to the halfway mark, put gas in. Don't keep letting your car run down to the gutter. Right? I can give so many different examples. But when are we going to take hold of our own lives? We can't leave relationships. We can't have boundaries with family. We won't go after certain jobs. We won't relocate. We won't tell somebody, hey, I need a break. We don't know how to tell ourselves, you need a break. You need to rest. We so driven by money. And I used to be like this years ago. Child, I could be dead dog sick. But I would be so worried about, oh, I only have these many hours. I got to go to work because I got to be able to take my son. Now I'm in a place where I'm like, God, I just want to be in your hands. And so, therefore, when somebody says something to us, instead of us recognizing and checking it, hold on, this ain't healthy. Hold on, you can't speak to me this way. Hold on, I have a boundary. Hold on, let me use wisdom. If I kind of feel like the job finna start doing the most, let me go ahead and get my resume together. Hey, if I feel like this person get ready to do the most, regardless, I should already be saving. I should already have a plan so that in the event, if this go left and we living together, I got a cushion where I can make some things happen. Hey, I may have to go get a storage and get in an Airbnb for a month or two or for a couple weeks and find my own spot. Let me get my credit to where I am, where it needs to be. So while I was with someone and in the same household, I'm working on my credit. Guess what? Not because I'm planning for the relationship to be a disaster, but they could get sick. They could pass away. Are you prepared? Is your credit together where you could take over the lease, go get a new lease? Or are you like, man, I've been with so-and-so for 2-3 years. You ain't got no money saved. You don't take care of yourself. You don't motivate yourself. You don't push yourself. You're not doing nothing no different. You just laid up with nothing to show for a relationship, but whatever you posted on social media. Do you have a plan? Do you understand your 401k? Is there ways that you can invest to collectively and separately? I'm not encouraging hide stuff from your spouse and da-da-da. That's not this video. But we just put so much trust in man, and then we be scared to let God make decisions. We putting trust in a man or woman that's flawed, that's insecure, that's selfish, that's lazy, that's sometimey, that's moody, that lacks communication. You don't know if they up or down. They could be up and something devastating can happen and they could fully check out. What are we doing? Always make sure that you're secure. And most importantly, secure in Christ. Ask God for the strategies. I don't care if you in a great marriage and y'all been working together till kingdom come. You should be having conversations. Baby, if something was to happen to you right now, if you get laid off, if you get sick, if something happens where you cannot be your full potential self, what is it that I could do Not only to help myself, to help you, to help the children, or whatever the dynamic is. Half of us we're not even prepared. And this is not about money. Money is a portion of it. You know how I can say that? Because you got people with money and they still unhappy. Look at the Diddy situation. He got money. It didn't stop you from mistreating somebody. It didn't stop you from acting a fool in public where you know it's cameras. It didn't stop you from your drug problem according to his video where you had to go to rehab. So don't let the devil make you think it's only money that'll reduce my problems. I don't care if you and the person you care about, y'all gotta make each other accountable to start somewhere of saying, I'm a terrible saver, you a terrible saver. But let's try to motivate each other. Let's start with $10 a paycheck. You know, put something in place where you could go put it somewhere. Go put it in a COD, something. Hey, if you got to come up with a bank account where it's for kids, where they can't touch it, and you got to create a trust. Hey, let's just start with $10. Y'all starting somewhere to help yourself as an individual and to help collectively. And at the end of the year, we going to take all the money we saved and we going to split it. This is yours, this is mine. And yeah, it's split 50-50, but we teaching each other communication skills. We're teaching each other accountability. We're learning how to save, especially if you struggle. Do y'all not know the average person does not have access where they can tangibly touch $1,000? 9 out of 10 people, they can't even touch 500. The average person after their paycheck, you don't even have $200 to your name. And even if you married, if you got $300-400 left, you have 2 people, a husband and a wife, or whatever your dynamic is, and you may or may not have children. You see why we got to get on top of stuff? Because if that person checks out, if they have a mental health situation, if they have a physical health situation, if they get laid off, if they decide to quit, what are we doing? I don't just want to be in a situation where I better another person, where I add value to somebody else. I want to be in a situation where I also can reap from this relationship, this partnership, this business deal, where I'm also setting myself up for the best case scenario and for the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario, again, does not mean that you're premeditating failure. You don't think for 1 second when you go to a doctor and you signing all those waivers, they not telling you you gonna die on the table. They not telling you sign this treatment or release so when you go to the doctor, we know something bad is gonna break out. No, they're doing it as a form of protection. We see companies do these things every single day and we have no problem complying. Why don't you have a waiver, a liability form, or a form of protection for yourself, for your children? So it ain't just about relationships. I have to put a form of protection in place for myself in case my son decides to grow up and start acting a fool. Because I'm not finna die in prison while you in prison. And I'm saying this hypothetically. I cancel everything that the devil will try to do. But if I don't get myself in a good place, and if I don't understand life, and I don't position myself for certain perspectives, I'll lose it. If we don't position ourselves when people die, that's why people don't have wills. That's why people don't have life insurance. That's why we can't get certain stuff done. Because we think because we have something in place, that's admitting defeat. Or that's admitting, oh my God, something bad's going to happen. No. As a matter of fact, let's hypothetically, if I'm in a relationship with a person, if you're not sitting down with me talking about worst case scenarios, if you're not motivating me saying, listen, we're going to show that we're in this thing till death do us part. But we're also going to show that we're in this thing that in the event something happens, you're protected and I'm protected. Mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. Don't that make sense to you? Business do it every day. Businesses do it every single day. So this is not about, oh, that creates division in the household. No, it doesn't. Because just as much as we're going to work hard to invest in one another, to invest in that relationship, to invest in that job, to invest in your children, to invest in whatever it may be, that business, you should also have a plan of action to protect yourself. Again, it doesn't mean that your husband is going to act the fool. Your wife is going to act the fool. Your job is going to do too much. Oh, it doesn't mean you just finna automatically get sick. No. But why are we being reactive instead of proactive? I promise y'all, I could call 4-5 people right now. I tell them right now, if y'all ever hear me talking crazy, don't trust me. Don't leave me to myself. Don't take into account Jennifer seems so smart and she understands. No. I don't give a John Brown, and I'm saying this loosely. If you got to come get me and lock me in a room, and I know it's different strokes for different folks, I can only talk about me and the safety measures I put in place. I tell my family all the time and my friends all the time, if you ever see me start to get stupid behind a man, please, baby, talk about me till you talk some sense into me. Don't be moved by my, you don't know. I don't need you to back off. Because you have to keep telling yourself, I'm not going to look at the shell of Jennifer. Something isn't right. Because I know what she stands for. And I know what we should stand for as a human being. And again, this is not the video where you like, well, what if you can't tell people nothing? That's not the video for this. We're talking about protection plans. You understand? Hey, if you start to see me getting isolated, ask me them questions. Don't downplay it. Oh, ever since she got her man, she don't talk to nobody no more. Hey, friend, you okay? You safe? I ain't saying nothing about Joe Blow, Tammy, Sam, Luke, Sarah. I just need to check in with you. My family know, my immediately family know, if something is jumping off, we got a code word that somebody could be sitting right next to me and I could be in full-blown conversation and say a code word and my family know what it is. It doesn't mean that I'm premeditating anything. It means I'm using wisdom. You know why when you buy a vehicle, they want you to put insurance on the vehicle? It's not because they're going to guarantee you're going to get into an accident. Think about what you're signing up for. Wait a minute, you want me to sign up for insurance on my car because you think I'm going to go crash it? Why would I want to go crash my own car? I'm going to be careful. Right. They're not saying that that's what you're going to do. They're saying just so that you're protected in the event. Watch this. In the event you do something, or in the event you do absolutely nothing and somebody else does something, you're protected. Why is it that we understand it in life, but we don't understand it when it comes to the value of our lives as human beings? You should never be so sold out to anybody. Hear me. Your spouse, your children, your friends, your degrees, your career. I don't care. You should never be so sold out that you cannot see where something is not healthy, where something is not good, where you need to make a shift, where you need to make a change. I'm not even sold out to myself because I don't trust this flesh. Because, baby, everything about my flesh want to be like, oh, just don't do it. Oh, just wait till later. Oh, just put it off. I can't listen to that. I ain't going to get nothing done. I got to listen to my spirit man. I can love my son to death. I will give him my last breath. But, baby, I love you, and I love you enough, and I love me enough to where I'm going to put things in place because you're not going to kill me or take me out mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, da-da-da-da. That is my son whom I birthed. And there's maybe some people on there that watching or that will watch this, and you may not connect with that. So what I would challenge you to do is think of something that you feel you love dearly. We're not talking about no illegal, crazy love. Just think of something that you just can describe as the most precious to you. I want you to take that thing, and I want you to not literally tell that thing, especially if it's a person, but I want your mind to say, even this thing is not more precious than my self-worth and my value. Unless it's an innocent baby. But do you not even know that even in a hospital, if a baby is getting ready to be born and it is jeopardizing the health of the mother, that they will do something and they will cause you to have to make a decision. It's either you or your baby. And we're talking about an infant who's done nothing in the world. We may have to terminate to save you. So if the world understands it, what are we struggling with? And I'm saying this to motivate us, not just from a relational perspective of intimate, husband, wife, da-da-da-da-da, But you should not allow somebody to have that much power and control where you cannot recognize this isn't healthy. We're not talking about giving grace and allowing people to grow. But y'all know, we all know, when we've been in stuff and we can look back and think, oh my goodness, I can't believe me of all people dealt with that for so long, took that for so long, was silent about it for so long. You know how I know? Because everybody in the world has went through something and you didn't tell somebody the full detail. Whether it was job related, work related, children related, financial related. Come on now. Let's just keep it a buck. You're not walking around here and saying, guess what, everybody? I got $20, $22 up in my account. Guess what, everybody? My child did da-da-da-da. We don't tell the whole story to every single scenario of our lives. Why? Because it's embarrassing. Why? Because we feel less than. Why? Because we feel like nobody will understand us. Why? Because we don't want to be judged. Why? Because maybe we know that it's wrong. There's so many different variables, and I don't need to sit and mention all of them. But these are signs that you know. You ever dealt with something and thought, oh my goodness, if people really knew, if I really told people, it don't matter if it's connected to a person. If somebody really knew that I had to steal that pack of meat. See, it's easy to look at people that look the part. You look ghetto. You look ratchet. You look like a cheater. You look like a liar. So I bet you out here living like da-da-da-da. Based on your social media. Based on what I know about you. Based on how you dress. But y'all better believe it's people that look regular. That look like me, that look like you, that look like them. Whatever you want to put that category in, they got stuff too that they ain't never told nobody. Out of embarrassment, out of shame. It don't matter if it's scamming, stealing, getting over. It's sometimes it could be anything. They ain't gonna tell people, hey, guess what? What I really hate to tell you is I really manipulated them to get what I want. Who walking around telling people that? I'm not saying there's not people that will actually tell you that, but what I'm trying to get you to see is we all deal with things that we don't tell people, which is suggestive that there's something deeper going on. Now you have to ask yourself, why do I let so-and-so talk to me like that? Why do I keep forgiving? Not saying that we never forgive, but why do I keep being through this repetitive cycle? Why can't I break this generational curse? Why do I have low self-esteem? Why do I have body conscious y'all know what I'm trying to say. Why I be tripping about the way my body look? Why do I compare? See, again, you don't tell people everything, but your thoughts say a lot about what you think about yourself. Even people that try to act like I'm confident, I would never, I'm so this, I'm so that, I love my this, I love this about me, from my this, from that, even they have thoughts. You got to build yourself up. Because if you are waiting on something or someone to validate who you are, it's going to be a long summer. I'll do a separate video, and I've done videos about how it is important for people to build us up. But what I am seeing so much when I counsel people, when I talk to people, people's lives are literally dictated on what people think, on how people feel, or what someone said and didn't say. Imagine how many people that were children that grow up as adults, and you hear men and women say things like, I didn't have a mother, I didn't have a father, nobody ever showed me, nobody ever taught me. We're grown now. Now we're adults. So you can't say that anymore. That is valid. But now you're the adult, and there's so many ways you can go get help. There's not an area in life that you cannot go get help and be given the tools that is needed to begin to work to undo that. And to rebirth yourself, replenish yourself, relearn things. I might have came in the wrong way. My bad. Is this making sense? Do y'all not know toxic relationships is the trick of the enemy? Do y'all not know unhealthy things is the trick of the enemy? Do y'all not know that? Do y'all not know staying in relationships for the sake of, because I thought I could help him. I thought I could save her. She told me she never had nobody. She said everybody give up on her. He said everybody always, ain't nobody ever been there to motivate him. And he didn't have no daddy. That's the trick of the enemy. Again, this particular video is not about that. It's okay to help people. But we all get up the same way, meaning Something, meaning God gives us the ability to let us see another day, and we all open up our eyes. Opening up your eyes doesn't mean you can literally see, because you have some people that open up their eyes and they're blind. But the thing is, we all have a breath in our body that says by law we are alive. We all have blood running through our veins that says by law that we are not dead, which gives us the opportunity to not settle, to work on things. We all in the same place. We all have the ability to get up and start. Your start should not be based on this job, this person. I ain't telling people to just up and quit jobs, but if you are not happy at your job, have a protection plan. Have a plan of what you finna do about it. What is it getting you by sitting and complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining? This job, this manager, this job, this manager, my coworker. Oh, I'm sick of it. Now what? I don't have no watch on, but how long you finna do that? Oh, okay. You still 6 months in? 9 months in? What have you put in place? I was talking to somebody the other day, and I didn't say this to be mean, but they was talking about something that they were dealing with. And I said, you do know you've said that multiple times. Now the question becomes, what are you going to do? See, the enemy wants us to always shift the blame. See, if I could say they, you forget to look, hold on. You forget the power you have. I understand there's a they, but I have power too. I have authority too. I have the ability to make adjustments and changes. I can do, it could be if the job is bad, the job can't control you going on Indeed and in Monster and LinkedIn. You're in control of that. Yes, the job will still create certain challenges and frustrations, but you're still in control. You still have the power. You still have the authority. Go get a trade. Hire your education. See what different fields are out there. Start doing research so that you can position yourself. And then you start to say, God, now look, I'm finna bear this for 6 to 9 months. But while I'm bearing this for 6 to 9 months, I'm finna work on my motivation. I'm finna work on stress management, emotional intelligence. I'm finna put this in place. I'm finna make sure that every hour on my lunch break, instead of sitting there and only eating my problems away, I'm finna be looking on Indeed. I'm finna get my resume together. I'm finna get on LinkedIn. I'm finna see what careers is popping right now. Can I add to my education, or am I good here? How can I expand? How can I grow? Because we should not put that much power in the hands of a flawed species. Some of us be saying we love people. We don't even know what love really means. But I love him. But I love her. But I love my mama. Sometimes I love my son, but I'm sure there's days where he kind of like, your love was suspect today. You right. But he still got to understand how to love himself. And I talk to so many people, and I see that across the board. We put so much power in a flawed species, in a flawed system that is demonic, because the Bible says that he, in terms of the enemy, is the prince of the earth. I'm not going to put my hope in a system. I'm going to use wisdom and ask God to give me wisdom on how to work around the system. Because even the Bible talks about when they was coming to, unalive the babies, he gave them wisdom. Put this blood over here so they could pass you by. No sickness will come nigh my dwelling. Meaning whatever it is that the world is subject to, because that's what I'm covered differently. I believe that I have power. I have authority. I don't have to be scared. I don't have to be fearful, but I can use wisdom. Wisdom doesn't say, oh, well, just be reckless. Cough in my face. No. Wisdom allows you to get that brain to work. And I'm going to do a part deuce because we're going to talk about wisdom. I love y'all. We'll talk soon.